Yo, what's up guys? How are you doing today, man? I'll be talking about my New England Patriots ending off the season in style with a loss. And yeah, I'm a lot happier after a loss than I would be usually because the Patriots have, I believe, officially secured a top 3 pick. And that is just an amazing sight to say and an amazing sight to see. What a 17-3 loss against the Jets. We have officially snapped our 15-game winning streak against those freaks. And I could not care less. We are last place in the AFC East. Do I care? Absolutely not. We have with a record of 4-13. Do I care? Absolutely not. This was a throwaway season. We were able to throw away Mac Jones, say goodbye. Bailey Zappi, say goodbye. And this is potentially a new regime coming of the Patriots. I think at least you go and get a new GM. Belichick, oh my God, the commentators today, shut the fuck up. Holy shit. A lot of times are like, it's potentially Bill Belichick's last game of the Patriots, this, that, and the third. Like, buddy, holy shit, that shit was so annoying. Because my God, they're like 7 or 8 times they're talking about, is this Belichick's last game of the Patriots? Like, bro, we don't know. The meeting is apparently tomorrow with him and Robert Kraft. We'll see what's going to happen. Also, salute and shout out to Matthew said, I believe this is his final game with the New England Patriots. Shout out to him. One of the greatest special teams players of all time. Shout out to Slay. Sucks that we can't go out with a, oh yeah, after the win because we obviously lost. But at the end of the day, a top 3 pick. I'm not going to complain about it. What I will complain about is the offense for the Patriots and how like god awful it was. For the really second half of the Patriots season, we really didn't have 3 of our best players really. And Matthew Judon, who would have been a Pro Bowler if he was playing the way we know he's been playing in the Patriots uniform. Shout out to Red Sleeves. Francisco Gonzalez, who was playing like one of the best cornerbacks in football prior to his injury early on to the season. Aaron Stevenson was started off shaky, but just getting his footing, really getting his game going, and then he gets injured and missed the remainder of the season. So that was pretty unfortunate. But the Patriots today overall, they just played a flat out just a terrible game. Let's call a spade a spade. Usually have terrible performances offensively against the Jets, and today it was one of the worst. I mean, you look at Bailey Zappi today, he goes 12 for 30 with 88 passing yards through 4 quarters. We had -7 total yards in the first quarter. He throws 2 picks in the final like 2 or so minutes. He throws a pick. The Jets DB that catches a fumbles off of a, I believe, a punch out from Reagan to recover by Vidarian Lowe, who was a terrorist and a god-awful offensive lineman. And then he throws a pick as well at the end of the game to, I believe, Tony Adams. So Bailey Zappi, sayonara. Mac Jones, 3rd string quarterback today, sayonara. The Patriots officially dropped the quarterback. If they don't drop the quarterback, I will be pleasantly surprised. Like, you might go ahead and troll into the Patriots might go and get a Joe Alt guy from a Notre Dame, the old lineman, or they might trade down or some BS. But you cannot tell me with the season, not the season on the line, with the Jets winning streak on the line and the divisional opponent can be close out the season, that you can walk away saying Bailey Zappi throwing 88 pass yards, that's enough. That's going to make me not drop the quarterback. That's just not going to happen. Patriots are definitely going to drop the quarterback. Now, I really don't know who is going to be. I have to do my scouting when it comes to the combine, when it comes to things of that nature as well. But April cannot come soon enough. There was obviously talks about Caleb Williams. I think he's going to go pretty early on. I don't know if we're going to have the top 2 pick. Probably not. Because the Commanders probably go ahead and lose today by the Cowboys. To the Cowboys, I should say. The game starts up pretty much right as I'm recording this video in like 15-20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. But Patriots with other quarterback, whether that's Drake May, whether that's Jaden Daniel, was I mean a lot of talk about Michael Penix potentially getting into that first round. I mean, early on it was like a maybe like a very, very late first or early second. But the Patriots, they're gonna have a really high 2nd round pick, so maybe they go with somebody early on, and they like, let's say like Mace Jake falls in their lap at number 3, you might gotta take him. Let's say May's gone at 2, Williams is gone at 1. Let's say they don't get Jaden Daniels, 1st or 3rd pick, or the 3rd pick of the 2nd round, Penix still there. they may swoop him, get him. The lefty, he does have concerns about his injury. He's definitely an older prospect. If I'm him, though, I'll probably go Jaden Daniels, to be honest, the Heisman winner this season. If both May and Caleb Williams are off the board. M.A. Shea versus Jaden Daniels. No comment. Zach played awful today. Zeke was all right running the football today. 13 carries for 55 yards. Jalen Reagor today had a carry for 17. Zappy 3 for 13. Kevin Harris 2 for 4. DeMario ran one play for no yardage. We had no touchdowns today. Our leading receiver was 33 yards for Jalen Reagor on one singular catch. Shout out to Reagor, by the way. He's had a couple of nice plays, both on special teams. Obviously, with the kick return touchdown to begin the game off against the Bills last game, and also had this catch today. Shout out to Jalen Reagor. Zeke, 5 catches today for 27 yards. Shout out to Zeke. Had a pretty solid season for us, especially stepping up without Ramondre Stevenson. Definitely got some wins, like the wins against the Steelers and the Broncos. Definitely a lot of that had to do with Ezekiel. Shout out to him. Mario Douglas, I want to see some more out of him. This is a guy I'm really high on. He's one of the guys that I'm really super high on, probably right after Chris Gonzalez in the NFL draft that we had this season. But 2 for 13 his last game. Definitely see some more out of him. He had a nice Zach had a nice throw to him, but looked like Sauce Gardner kind of broke it up. Definitely need to see the Mario Douglas hold on to that. This is a guy I think can be as highly as our number 3 receiver next season, depending on obviously what we do with the likes of the Devontae Parkers of the world and the Juju Smith-Schulters of the world and the Kendrick Bournes of the world. Like, I want to see what happens in terms of that. But then Tyquan Thorns in the world, like, we just have so many receivers that just flat out just aren't that good, and it's just like, it's gonna be such a head scratcher, man. We also have Devontae Parker today, one of those guys that I just mentioned, 1 for 6. Mike Gesicki 1 for 5, probably playing his last game with the Patriots, if I were to guess. Obviously, no Hunter Henry as well. Again, maybe he is also playing his last game with the Patriot, whatever he last played not too long ago. I mean, I don't know. He's up into 30 years old. They might just draft a guy like in the 3rd or 4th round in the NFL draft. I don't know at this point what the Patriots will look like next season. I don't know who their head coach or their possible GM will be. There's a lot of uncertainty with the Patriots right now. Kevin Harris had 1 catch for 4 yards. Pharaoh Brown 1 catch for 0 yardage. He also had a drop on like a 4th down, which just looked like a pretty good pass from Zappy as well. But at the end of the day, we're going for this top 3 pick, so fuck it at this point. Also, not any sacks, I believe, the Patriots defense today. Obviously, they just had a couple pass breakups and things of that nature. Not really any sacks, no picks. Shout out Anthony Jennings. He's always really good in the run game. The run game today, I don't know if I want to really blame the run defense today. I just feel like they just kept spam running Breece Hall like 45 times. So eventually, he's going to have a 10-yard run. Eventually, he's going to have a touchdown. But shout out to Alex Austin. I've been really impressed by Alex Austin. Deshaun Wade got absolutely bitched that one play by Garrett Wilson. And then Garrett Wilson dropped the wide open pass. So I'm like, okay. Has Kyle Duggar played his last game as a Patriot? I'm not going to lie. Definitely expected more to Kyle Duggar this season. Joe Peppers had a very dumb hit on Garrett Wilson. Hopefully that didn't lead to Garrett Wilson being concussed. He didn't end up missing the remainder of the game. Very dumb. He was expecting Garrett Wilson to catch the ball. He didn't catch the ball, and he still laid him out. Kind of like, that's just not a smart play. Marco Wilson, I believe, had a pass breakup right when he basically got into the game. Can't wait, made a nice play. Almost got a pick, potentially a pick 6. I don't know if he was quick enough to get that done, but shout out to them. Chad Ryland made his only field goal of the game with a 30-yard field goal. He's officially has not missed a kick in 2024. Chad Ryland said that we punted the ball 9 times today, 429 yards in punt yards. That's even the correct grammar. I was about to say grammarization, whatever the fuck. 47.7 yards per punt, 2 inside of 20. Kick return, Kevin Harris 1 for 21. Ray 1 for 15. Punt return, Miles Bryant 3 for 29. Marcus Jones, please save my life, because we have listed an abundance of people running kick return and punt return, and ideally both of them should be Marcus Jones, and he should be like a nickel, not a nickel, but it's not a nickel, a slot corner, and potentially some points playing our offense. So Marcus Jones is the absolute gadget player. Cannot wait to see him next season with whoever the fuck is a Patriots quarterback next season. Now onto the Jets. We got Trevor Siemian, who did not play well today whatsoever. They got absolutely carried by Breece Hall. Trevor Siemian today, 8 for 20, 70 passing yards overall, no touchdowns, no picks. Breece Hall, career game, best game of his career, probably. I mean, when you get the ball 37 fucking times after they cut Dalvin Cook, is now on the Ravens. Breece Hall, 37 carries against, coming to this game, arguably, according to the stats, the best run defense in the league. The Patriots did have, and also they were allowing the least amount of yards per carry to running backs. Breece Hall comes in and runs the ball 37 fucking times. Like, what the hell is that? 178 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, and a touchdown as well. Breece Hall and the Jets. What happened to the game I love? This is not 1990s. Y'all literally just spam running Breece Hall because Trevor Siemian literally fucking reeks. My God, what happened to the game I love? And you got Izzy Abanaconda, 3 carries today for 6 yards. Siemian, 2 carries for 1 yard. Receiving wise, they didn't really have a receiving game today. Garrett Wilson made a nice catch. He also somehow has 1,000 receiving yards with Trevor Siemian and Tim Boyle and Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers for one play throwing him the football. Like, Gary Wilson with a competent quarterback. It's going to be scary hours, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because he's in our division, but outside of that, he was a fucking monster. 2 catches today for 34 yards for Garrett Wilson. Tyler Conklin, 2 for 16. Breece Hall, 2 for 12. Randall Cobb, 1 for 4. Xavier Gibson, 1 for 4. And that was it in terms of defensive wise today. They had 2.5 sacks today from Bryce Huff. I believe he's a free agent. He may or may not be getting paid by the Jets, depending on what that contract AAV in particular is going to be looking like for him. Quentin Williams, the Pro Bowl absolute demon, with 2 sacks today. He got a sack today from Will McDonald. He probably will have a bigger role next season, especially if they don't go ahead and re-sign a guy like a Bryce Huff. And they got a pick today from Ashton Davis. And they also got a pick. Ashton Davis actually fumbled the ball, so nice job going there, freak. And Tony Adams as well went ahead and got a pick as well. They had 2 kick returns from Xavier Gibson today, 2 for 39, and punt return from Xavier Gibson as well, 6 for 57. He had a pretty nice return, if I'm not mistaken. And Zero Line literally beat us by itself today, making 3 of 4 from the field goals. His longest kick being a 40-yard field goal. Yeah, and then he also punted the ball today with 7 times with a really good punter, Thomas Morstead. You know. They literally had a highlight reel for him on Twitter, so hey, release him. 7 punts today for Morstead, former Saint. 319 yards, 45.6 yards per punt, and 3 inside of the 20. And now on to the teams that have to turn on Tankathon and see what the Patriots pick is looking like right now. If it is indeed updated, obviously the Commanders game still has to go on, and they probably will eventually go ahead and lose that game. If they win that game, I would not complain whatsoever. Total yards today, we had 120 total yards, which is fucking poultry. The Jets 254. They had 69 passing yards. We had 31. Okay, that's just not true, though. We did not have 31 passing yards. I don't know who makes that to ESPN, but we did not have 31 passing yards. We had 80 passing yards, or 88 passing yards. I don't know why. It's not even ESPN, it's Google I'd be looking at these stats from. Like, I don't know what the fuck they be talking about. Apparently, we had 89 rushing yards. Is that correct? I believe so. 89 rushing yards to the Jets, 185. Like, what the fuck even is that? Yards per play, they had 4 yards per play. We had 2.1 yards per play. That is fucking disgusting. They had 13 first downs to our 6. They were 3 for 15 on 3rd down. We were 1 for 14 on 3rd down. My God. On 4th down, we were over 3. They were over 1. Total plays, they had 63 plays to our 58. We allowed 7 sacks. Nice job, O-line. Nice job, man. This might be the last game of David Andrews' career, not only as a Patriot, but he may also end up retiring, according to some people on Twitter. I'm not calling that shit X. 9 punts today from us, 7 punts for the Jets. We have 4 penalties for 35 yards. The Jets had 1 penalty all game for 5 yards, which is pretty insane. They lost 1 fumble, on that pick by Ashton Davis that he ended up fumbling. We didn't lose a fumble. We threw 2 picks with Zappy literally right after each other, to be completely frank, on that same basically drive, to be honest. After time possession, they had 33 minutes and 42 seconds to our 26 minutes and 18 seconds. So that is it. Patriots lose. And after the season, I will be dropping a video what the Patriots should do this offseason. And obviously, a good amount of that is going to have to do with what the fuck is going to happen with Bill Belichick. As a Patriots fan, I bring back Bill Belichick, but I strip Bill Belichick, pause, from the general manager role. Bill Belichick is still an elite mind defensively. Offensively, though, our wide receivers are arguably the worst skill position in the NFL. You drafted Julian Edelman, you drafted Gronk, you drafted Brady. With all due respect, I cannot trust the judgment at drafting wide receivers in recent memory. You could have got AJ Brown, you could have got Deebo Samuel, you could have got who else? Somebody else I'm forgetting. That's not the point though. You draft N'Keal Harry, the fucking bus. Like, that's just not going to cut it, man. It's not going to cut it. So the game isn't over yet, but I'm going to go ahead and just look at Tankathon to see what our pick is talking about right now. So it looks like right now we have the second overall pick with a record of 4-13. By strength of schedule, I believe it's by the... Is it by the lowest or by the highest? I keep forgetting this. Is this by the lowest strength of schedule or the highest strength of schedule? So it means if you have a higher strength of schedule, then you have a higher... Okay, let's say the Patriots have a higher strength of schedule than the Commanders. The Commanders would then have the highest. They will have the second overall pick, because if you have a higher strength of schedule, it's harder to beat good teams than because it's not easier to beat those bad teams. It's harder to beat good teams and it's easier to beat bad teams. My bad for the grade school kind of what's it called? Grade school kind of, not teaching but explanation, I guess. So the Panthers pick that's going to the Bears as number 1. They have a record of 2-15. We have right now, if the Commanders lose this game, they would be 4-13 as well, but I believe they would have a lower strength of schedule. So that means that we would then have the 3rd overall pick. So we have a record of 4-13 currently with the 2nd overall pick. The Commanders currently with a record of 4-12, probably 4-13 after this video is up, and after the Commanders and Cowboys game is up, with a record of 4-13 with the 2nd pick probably. But right now, currently 3rd pick. The Cardinals right now are pretty much, looks like they're kind of locked into that 4th pick right now with a record of 4-12. That loss that when they had against the Eagles was actually a loss for them, because they could have had a top 3 pick, but instead they went ahead and had to beat the Eagles. And even I think with that win, even with that loss, they probably would have been a 4th, because they have a 5-61 strength of schedule before today's game against the Seahawks. So yeah, if you have a higher strength of schedule, that means that your pick is gonna be lower than the team with the same record as you with the lower strength of schedule. So you want to have the lowest strength of schedule as possible, I guess. I don't know. This is kind of like a kerfuffle right now. My bad for the grade school kind of explanation once again. But you want to have the lower strength of schedule, because if you have a higher strength of schedule, that means you're losing the team that you're supposed to be losing to. If you have a lower, then you're losing the teams that you're not supposed to be losing to. You're supposed to be winning to, or winning. So the Giants with a record of 5-11 with the 5th pick right now. The Chargers with a 5-11 record, saying that the 6th pick right now. They have a game today going up against I forgot who. Doesn't really matter though. Titans with a win today against the Jags. Jags, man, y'all down terrible. Oh, T-Law, man, what are we gonna do with you? Texans 7th pick right now with a record of 6-11. Falcons with a record of 7-10 with the 8th pick. Jets with a record of 7-10 with the 9th. And the Vikings with a record of 7-10, I believe, but a loss today against the Lions with a record of 7-10, as officially updated. Same with a win against us today. The Jets have a top 9 pick. But yeah, Pats right now have a minimum a top 3 pick in the 2023 NFL draft. And they really have a couple of ways they can go with it. They can go wide receiver, which is really only one option in my humble opinion, or they can go a multitude of quarterbacks. Obviously, with the number 1 overall pick, the Bears potentially draft Marvin Harrison Jr., or they go ahead and trade down. Commanders probably trade up. I don't see us trading up. The Giants, could they trade up? I'm not too sure. So you would expect either one being MHJ, or it will be Caleb Williams. Then you have at the 2 pick, the Commanders, let's say they don't trade up, they go quarterback as well. They probably go ahead and get Drake May. If MHJ is still on the if MHJ is gone with the 1st overall pick, the Bears keep it instead of trading down, maybe a pick or 2 to get some even more. You have capital and also a young player as well, like they did last year with Bryce Young trade. By the way, salute to the Texans last night, make the playoffs with CJ Stroud. Shout out to them. Impossible win for the Texans. I don't know why the Colts get a ball to Tyler Goodson for the game, but that's besides the point. But yeah, if the Bears don't go quarterback, the number 2 pick goes Caleb Williams. You go out and you try to get Drake May. If Drake May is not there, you go get Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels is not there, MHJ is still there, you go out and get Jaden. You go out and get MHJ, or you go out and get Jaden Daniels. Whatever one of those couple of guys is still up there, you go ahead and draft them. And yeah. But other than that, yo, that is for this one. Go down below, drop a like, comment down below, sub up, just follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. It's your boy John. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out, man. Peace.